Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of the FTA Fuck the Algorithm podcast. My name is Chase Parker. I am here joined with our founder, Nathan Crowell. And
Hello.
we got a lot that we want to talk about today, so I'm going to waste no time and we're just going to get into it. Nate, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that we're gonna go over today. Um, but honestly, I just kind of want to start off by asking you a couple questions real quick.
Yeah, what's up?
We had a couple new trailers drop, and I'm curious if you actually saw them yet. Have you
Uh,
seen,
depending on which
um,
trailers.
okay, well, literally as of like this recording today, they dropped the new trailer for the next Mission Impossible movie.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
They literally just dropped that today. I saw that like right before we literally started
I'm going to be
talking.
honest,
So.
I haven't seen a Mission Impossible movie in like 5 years.
Honestly, fair. I haven't seen the last one. They are pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. They're good action movies. But yeah, this next one looks pretty crazy. It
Yeah.
looks really epic. Yeah, I mean,
I
if you
think I
follow
saw
that
the one.
series
I think
and
the last one I saw was the one that Henry Cavill was in.
yeah,
Like,
actually yeah,
like what the one
that's
that was
fair.
like filming while he was also filming Superman. I think that was the last Mission Impossible movie I saw. Um,
I think is there? I think there's been two since then. I
yeah,
could be
there's the one
wrong.
that like recently came out like a couple of years ago, or not a couple of years ago, like last year was it? I
Yeah.
can't remember. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's part one of what they're doing, which I haven't seen that one, so I literally don't know. I
yeah.
probably should watch that one because this next one actually does look pretty epic. I don't know if it's the final Mission Impossible movie. I think it is.
I
Maybe I'm wrong. It is
I
called The
don't I
Final
don't buy
Reckoning,
it.
but and it's Tom Cruise, so who knows?
Yeah.
But
Uh,
also, I don't know if you stay up to date on Marvel stuff,
I
but have you
okay.
seen?
I kind of do. I did see the Brave
Okay.
New World trailer. I thought it
Actually,
was
I haven't seen that one yet.
it's pretty cool. It looks pretty
Okay.
interesting. Uh,
Uh, Go
yeah,
ahead.
I just it's the one thing I'm worried about is Harrison Ford. Love him, but he is sort of going on the end of his career, and I'm worried that he just does not give a shit anymore. And that's like, and it's kind of that's what I'm like kind of scaring about. I'm like, okay, are you in this because it's Disney and they're paying you a shitload of money, or is it actually a good script? Because
Okay, so my kind of slight counter argument to that. So Harrison Ford, he's definitely in like the he doesn't give a fuck era
uh
of
huh,
his life, but I will say he just loves filmmaking and loves like he loves doing what he does,
I respect
and he
that.
likes to have fun. And I think with this movie, it's just Harrison Ford having fun.
Okay, I can get on top of that. Red Hulk looks fucking sweet. I
Yeah.
will say that.
I have seen the
Uh,
images of that and seen a lot more of him. But the new trailer I haven't seen. But have you seen the trailer for Marvel's Thunderbolts?
no, maybe I've seen clips. Uh, to be
They just
honest
dropped
though,
another trailer,
I
and
don't know much about Thunderbolts.
it's fine. I don't think anyone knows anything about Thunderbolts. Jesus, that was so hard to say. Um, but
I just know that
it
they have
looks
like
really
David
good.
Harbour and Florence Pugh and like Taskmaster, which
Yep.
honestly I love Taskmaster, so I'm kind of stoked on that. However, in Black Widow was not really a huge fan, but honestly, I don't think
Yes.
Black Widow was that great of a movie. That's my personal opinion. Don't
Black
hate me
Widow
for
sucked.
that.
Okay. No, no, I will die on this hill. Black Widow sucked as a movie. I couldn't get it behind it.
It
I just yeah,
I
yeah,
have this
didn't
argument
like it.
about
For
a
me,
lot
didn't
of
like it.
I have this argument about a lot of movies, specifically Disney movies, um, that because a Disney has a tendency recently. This might get controversial, just by the way, but Disney has a tendency, in my opinion. I really want to stress this. They like to cater to audiences, like demographics, rather than like moviegoers. So, like for example, Black Widow. If you are a diehard feminist, you love that movie. if you are an average moviegoer, that movie was terrible. And like, I'm not saying that feminism is like bad. I'm like all for it. Don't get me wrong. Like, but I think that there is a right and a wrong way to do it, and Black Widow was the wrong way to do it. Like Black Widow was kind of just like girl power. That's it. Because if you want to see like a good like feminist
Yeah.
movie, watch the original Milan. Watch
Yeah.
fucking Rogue One. Like there's plenty of movies that have like female cast or female leads that are actually phenomenal movies. Black Widow just was not one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, they tried, but I ultimately, in my opinion, I do think they failed. It wasn't the greatest. It had a lot of issues
Yeah.
with it. But that is what makes me excited blah, blah, blah. Why is that word so hard to say?
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt.
Isn't Thunderbolts also
Um,
the name of like a Nickelodeon TV show?
Maybe?
I
I
don't
vaguely
I
remember
feel like it's
something
like
along
it
those
was like some
lines.
like kids show called The Thunderbolts or something like that.
I know, wasn't there a show called Thundercat or something like that? No,
Yeah.
that's a musician.
Let's just be real. There's like a thunder. There
Yes.
a lot of people like thunder in their name.
Thunder.
So, but yeah,
But that's what makes me excited about this movie is because they are taking all of these characters. You have Bucky, you got
I am so
um
excited to see the Winter Soldier again, dude. I
yeah,
fucking love Sebastian Stan.
so he's amazing. He's freaking amazing. Oh, he can do no wrong. But you got him back, you got Florence Pugh. I am literally blanking on her character's name right now. It's like
Uh,
Ivanka,
it's uh, it's
Ivanka.
it's
I'm
oh
l-
my god.
I
I
I'm
like
literally
I
blanking on it right
the
now.
thing is that I know it, and it's like I'm just
I
like
know it too.
I'm
I'm like,
like
oh no.
oh shit.
Anyways, so like they brought all these characters back. They even got the villain from Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp, um Ghost.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I did see that.
She,
Okay,
she
yeah, yeah.
she's in it. And I really do feel like this movie in particular is um kind of almost like a redemption movie um for these characters.
Yeah.
So essentially, they're just kind of gathering. Mm, I don't want to call it the Dark Avengers or anything like that, but it's the mercenaries of
It's like the vigilante Avengers.
yeah, it's the Marvel mercenaries. So they're all pretty much just mercenaries at this point. They just shoot guns and shit. They're not like
They fucking
actual
kill people.
superheroes. They kill people. They're assassins. So it looks fun. I'm really interested in it.
I'll have to
The
watch the
more I
trailer.
actually see it, I actually get really excited
I
for
will
it.
say,
And
Marvel did make the right move of cutting back on their output a lot. Cause now
they had to.
but I
They
think that
had
was like
to.
the big problem with everything after Endgame is they kept up with that pace of just pumping out movies, and like that I don't really think that was the way to go, just because like it's harder to it's fuck what's his name Masahiro Sakurai. No, that's the guy that did Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the guy that made Mario. It's
Oh.
it's like a
Oh.
okay. Anyway, his it's applied to video games, but I honestly think it applies to like anything like books, movies, TV shows. It's like a rush game will or a delayed game will eventually be good. A rushed game will be forever bad,
Mhm.
and I kind of agree with that personally. In like all scenarios, like obviously you can't update a movie after it's released. Like a movie is
George Lucas would beg to differ.
okay, yeah, but aside from that, um, aside from that, like you get what I'm saying. Like
Mhm.
you can't. Also, I'm gonna stop you right there too. In that case, though, that those were already like good movies. that he spent a
True.
lot of time working on. He just added some
True.
stuff. But like, and
Yeah.
I think Marvel's biggest problem is they were like pumping out shit without actually spending the time to like work on them. Cause like take fucking the Marvels. I think that movie was shot, film, or like was written, filmed, and produced within like 2 or 3 years, or like maybe even less. And then take don't quote me on this because I think I might be pulling out of my ass. But then take Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I think like James Gunn was working on that movie for like 7 years. Like,
Yeah.
cause I think
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
worked. I think
That
he
sounds right.
worked on like all three of the movies like around the same time. Like he wrote them all like kind of
Hmm.
in line. But then also James Gunn is just a brilliant filmmaker. So,
Yeah.
like,
So it's true. There's a reason he's ahead of DC,
yeah.
and it does make sense.
I
It
am
makes
really
sense.
excited to see James Gunn's DC. By the way, like I honestly
Yeah,
think that James Gunn will give Warner Bros. The redemption they need. And if he
I
doesn't,
hope so.
that just sucks. But
I'm
I
still.
have faith in James Gunn.
Look, we've speaking of James Gunn's DC universe and all this, we've had conversations in the past and we've talked about this, but in a perfect world of 10 years from now or something like that, I really do highly think, depending on how things go on, James Gunn's DC universe, setting all of that up, which I think he's going to do great, and I do think it's going to help Warner Brothers. I hope it does. I don't know if Warner Brothers is just like too far in debt to actually come back. I
Yeah.
don't know. Who knows, honestly.
For
But
those of you that don't know,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Warner Brothers is like kind of have in like a really weird situation right now where everything, or I don't want to say everything, but a lot of what they're putting out is flopping, and it is putting the company in more and more debt.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
in the foreseeable future, it is possible that if James Gunn doesn't hit a perfect game with his DC universe, we could see Warner Bros going out of business or going bankrupt or selling a lot of IP.
They're
So,
already starting to do stuff like that. That's
yeah.
why this has been like actually a regular topic amongst people within the industry. Just because they're already like, I know they're letting like any video game studio have be able to buy the rights to do like Batman or Harry Potter video games
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah.
that. Like they're already just being like, hey, please.
Yeah.
So it is interesting to if that does happen, and that would be for the filmmaking industry in a world where Warner Brothers goes bankrupt and they go out of business. That would be absolutely insane. Like
It's like
that.
the
Oh my God.
longest standing studio, too. So,
Yeah. It's. I mean, they've been around forever.
they've been
Like
around
pretty
like
much
since the
since.
start of film.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much since the start of film. Like it was.
It was like 18,
Oh,
like 30 something, or like whatever. I don't,
it was way back in the day. Literally, basically since the birth of filmmaking.
I'm
And
actually,
when
I kind of want to fact check this. When
yeah, I forget the actual
was
year, but
Warner?
it was way back in the day. I used to have a book
Okay, so
that
Warner
went into the
Bros was
history.
founded in 1923, and
That's still old as fuck.
yeah. Okay.
Also, to
Oh,
put it
I
in
was thinking of the
perspective,
Lumiere brothers. I was thinking of the Lumiere brothers. They were in like 1830 something or like whatever.
yeah. Well,
But
that's like the dawn of filmmaking.
yeah,
When it really wasn't even quite
when it started going like
filmmaking.
mainstream, when it was like
Yeah,
started like when theaters were a thing and like people would like go and see
yeah.
movies and whatnot.
But that is the crazy thing about the filmmaking industry is like it's not that old of an industry
Uh huh.
when in
Oh no,
comparison
it's
to
still
like
like
other
yeah,
mediums.
yeah, it's
It,
still
it's
pretty
it's
new.
wild.
It's still pretty new. But yeah, it's crazy.
Um, Yeah. Did I finish my thought on that? I don't remember. We're
Oh no,
just gonna move on.
I did kind of cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I
Yeah,
don't remember what I was saying,
yeah.
so we're
All
just
right.
gonna move on. It's all good. Um,
So yeah, as far as FTA goes, we are honestly, I think we're pretty on pace. We are flushing out the website as we speak.
yes.
And it's honestly, you'll see it in January, but it's looking pretty sweet. Um, you're just a little overview of what we're gonna have. Before we went on the podcast, Nate was talking about how he was setting up a store, which I'm really excited about. That'll be super cool. We have a list of all the projects we're working on. More on that in a little bit. And then also the one thing that we've been talking about is our services page, because if you remember from the last podcast, one of the big things with FTA is being able to provide for filmmakers. You need an editor or a VFX artist, we got you. So yeah, progress on the website is going very smoothly. I think the next thing that we're going to try working on more is our social media pages, other than like obviously our YouTube, because we have the podcast on there, is very dead. Nate, you got anything to add about
It's
that?
pretty much non-existent as of
Yeah.
right now.
So
Um,
that's one thing that we want to start working on, is starting to like flush up the social media pages. We have an Instagram, we have a TikTok, YouTube. We got some clips from the podcast that we want to start uploading. And I think we honestly, I could probably do some of that today. So yeah. Speaking of which, for our 10 listeners out there, as of right now, we are recording this and publishing this on a Monday. We know we said every Friday, life got in the way. So
yeah, yeah. We do apologize for that. Life happened. People, I feel like it was just one thing after
it
another.
was
Like
kind of
either
one thing
people were
after
getting
another.
sick, um, so and so got sick, and then work got crazy, and then we're out of town, and then
Exactly.
like it was just
So
one thing after
this
another.
is going to
So
be going up on a Monday. But yeah, anyway, otherwise everything
okay.
else is going really smooth, and we're
Mhm.
both very excited for what we have in store. So yeah.
No, I'm really, really excited. Talking about the website. So I feel like the last week I've literally just been spending all of my time working on that website, just trying to because look, I'm gonna be completely honest. I've never fully made a website
I've
myself before.
never touched
Okay,
one.
so I will say I did way back in the day. I don't even think Macs have this anymore, but there was a thing called oh God, what was it called? It was an app that uh
Was it? It was like Webmaker, right, or something like that.
is Webmaker or I
I
was
know
gonna
what
say
you were talking
iPages,
about.
but it's not iPages. It was like something like
I
that.
think
But
maybe it
basically you
was
can make
iWeb.
websites.
Maybe it was iWeb.
Well, something like that.
I
It was
was
Apple, so at the time it was I something.
I was like a yeah, I remember that. It was on like the first iMac that I had growing up, like the big like blocky one.
Oh yeah.
And then yeah,
Classic.
now it's like not really a thing anymore. As it's kind of weird thinking about like the big blocky iMacs as I'm on my like really thin Mac Pro, like or MacBook Pro.
Dude, those iMacs, I ain't gonna lie. Like when I first went to college, like that was the computer that we all worked on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Were those
yeah.
iMacs. Like they were everywhere.
Honestly,
And
okay,
yeah.
I'm about to get controversial again. I will always pick a Mac over a PC.
See, this
I
is
okay.
where like I feel you, but also I kind of disagree with you
Yeah.
personally. But
So
I get it.
it depends on what you're doing. For me personally, I do a lot of editing, color grading, motion graphics, and that kind of stuff. And so on for my purposes, a Mac has always been perfect. Also, I work a lot in ProRes video footage, and it's obviously because it's Apple, it's way more supported on a Mac than a PC. Also, I have I do have some contacts in the film and production industry. Almost every single one of them uses a Mac. unless they're doing 3D work, then it's a PC. But also for me personally, I don't do a whole lot of 3D work. I do a lot, just like it's my main workflow is in like 2D and video stuff. So
Yeah, no, it's again, it's one of those things like it's your workflow of like what
yeah,
you're doing. So being primarily Mac, I actually see I get it, but for me, like I have a Mac, but then I also got my desktop PC, and I love my desktop PC. But also, I typically will do a lot of 3D work, a lot of Blender, a lot of Unreal Engine,
yeah,
and the other things that I like to mess around with, like we're probably gonna get into this a little bit later, but like Gaussian splats and stuff.
yeah.
You're gonna need a desktop computer to be running and doing Gaussian splats and all of that. So, like my
Primary.
my main, thank you. My main workflow is going to be desktop, like
Yeah,
Windows.
PC.
So I get it.
However,
Also, sorry.
oh yeah,
Continue.
just real quick, one thing I wanted to say, I don't know if I was reading this right, or if I was just kind of like wishful thinking, but I did. Unreal Engine had the Unreal Fest in Seattle a couple of weeks ago, and they are bringing way, 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 way more support to the Mac version of Unreal. So like,
Good.
so I'm as a Mac user, I'm really fucking excited about that. I think it's with the
I'm
release of the M4 chip,
yeah.
because it has hardware accelerated ray tracing, which
Mhm.
is insane on a Mac, especially like a
Yeah.
laptop. Like so, yeah,
See,
because
and now in that case, that's where I'm like, I would love to have. I mean, I don't have the M4 Mac. I actually
yeah,
got, but the MacBook I have is the one that was released right before they started doing the whole
silicon,
M4.
yeah.
Um,
I think
so
mine is
technically
the
it's a bit dated now,
Mine's the
but
M2 Max. My iPad has hardware accelerated ray tracing though. I don't know how the fuck that works. I just got the newest iPad, and dude, I love that thing, but it is an iPad with 1 terabyte of storage, fucking like 16 gigabytes of RAM with hardware accelerated ray tracing. It's an iPad. Like what?
yeah, yeah,
Like
it's crazy. I
yeah.
don't understand that, and it's so thin. I don't know if you guys ever actually held one of the brand new iPads in your hand. Chase is gonna go grab it right now for our audio listeners. But it is so paper thin. It is scary to hold.
Look
Like
at
you feel like you're going to break it.
For yeah, if you're watching this on the video version, you can see that the Apple Pencil I have is literally thicker than the iPad. Also, this
See,
thing's huge.
that's the crazy thing. The pencil is thicker than the iPad, and the iPad has a terabyte of storage and hardware accelerated ray trace. Shut the fuck up.
Right? Like they one thing I will say is I kind of wish that they kept like the normal thickness and put a bigger battery, but the battery life is so
Yeah.
good that I'm like not it's not that big of a deal. Like I take mine everywhere and I charge it like honestly every like 2 days or so. Like I don't it's been sitting on my bench for like the last like 2 days. I use it like all the time. I when I'm not needing if I'm not needing my computer, I'm using my iPad. And but
That's fair.
I don't charge it. Like I do it like if I'm watching like YouTube, fuck even sweet. um, if I'm
Okay, sorry for our audio listeners. If you're not watching the video right now, something random just happened.
there was like a little like thumbs up thought bubble that just went up.
This,
Um,
I don't even know where that came from, but just a little thought bubble and a thumbs up just popped right next to Chase's mouth for
that's so
no
funny.
reason.
That's so funny. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. But honestly, like even for like low end like video editing, I have the DaVinci Resolve version, iPad version, and it's great. I love it. It's fantastic. I use my iPad for everything I don't need my computer for. I still prefer to do
That's
editing on my computer because it as powerful as it is, it's still an iPad. So like that's kind of the
Also,
big
with
thing.
your computer that you have, that thing is a work beast. It opens Unreal Engine in what, 5 seconds?
Dude,
So, yeah.
so I got a very long saving spree when I was between my freshman year of high school and my senior year of high school. And for college, I got a maxed out M2 MacBook Pro. Like it's the M2 Max, like fucking 64 gigabytes of storage, 2 terabyte hard drive. It opens Unreal in yeah, like 5 seconds. It's
Wait, 64 gigabytes of memory?
yeah, like RAM.
Damn,
Yeah.
damn.
It makes video
That's so
editing the
much.
best
That is
thing
so
ever.
much.
It's
Yeah, I mean, totally fair.
you want to know what's actually like kind of embarrassing before and then honestly I think we should move on because we're kind of like getting on a little tangent but that's kind of how it works
Let
here.
I do
Fuck the
have one other
algorithm.
thing. There's one other thing I do want to kind of talk about that goes with this conversation,
Oh,
though.
okay, yeah,
But
yeah.
please continue.
But the one thing I was gonna say is so I just recently, like during high school, started getting a lot more into like actual video editing. Like I've been editing since I was like little. I didn't know, but I didn't really know what I was doing. Um, I didn't know what
That's how we
proxies
all
were
start.
until like 3 years ago because of this Mac. Like I was editing
Yeah.
in like 4K ProRes and I just did it because like it was working so smooth. And then I'm like, oh, proxies are a thing. Sweet.
Oh, you have to use those? Oh, yeah.
Like it
Yeah,
was
no,
like, oh, I should
yeah,
be
yeah.
using proxies to like save processing power. I didn't know that because it was running fine. So anyway,
Hmm.
for all you youngins out there that are trying to save up for a computer but like don't do it, do it. Just do it. Just
Yeah,
save.
do it.
Like you will not regret it. I've been using this computer for almost 3 years now and I have never had a single problem with it.
It's been 3 years?
Maybe 2 years. Either way, I got it when I was 18. I'm 20 now.
So, yeah,
So
two.
yeah, like 2 years.
Well, two and a half, or something like that.
Two and a half, something like that. Anyway.
So to go with this conversation, talking about Apple and stuff, I recently ran across an article online, and I don't know the full warning. I don't think there's any legit source or saying that this is going to happen or is a possibility, or I don't even know where they kind of came up with this. But let me ask you this
I will definitely have an
in
answer.
in the future, and maybe a couple years from now or whatever, what do you think would happen if Apple bought Black Magic Design?
Honestly, that would be like I think that would be like really cool.
So I think there's upsides and downsides to
Okay,
it.
there's definitely downsides and there's definitely upsides. The one thing
Mhm.
is that Black Magic would become I think DaVinci Resolve would be integrated within Final Cut. Or at least like
Now,
would work
let me
in
ask
tandem
this.
with Final
Would
Cut.
hmm, see, I didn't even think about that because I forgot about Final Cut, to be
Yeah,
quite
just
frank with
because
you.
I
But
know like Apple has a really big tendency of integrating the things they buy. Like for
Mhm.
example, I'm sure you know Shazam. Like they bought Shazam, which was a company, and they made it a part of Apple Music. And then they also did Siri, like you know the like their whole thing that was an external app that they ended up buying and making it a part of the OS, like every Apple
yeah,
OS. So I just think
but
with like Apple's track record,
mhm.
they would probably like rip up everything and then like reintegrate it either back into Final Cut or yeah.
So I have a lot of thoughts on this. I Part of me thinks it would be really cool that Apple did that because we're already seeing stuff like them having the ProRes on the iPhone and stuff like that, and DaVinci Resolve, being able to edit in ProRes, things like that. They literally the Apple Vision Pro headset. The Blackmagic built a camera that can film stuff for the Vision Pro.
Okay, so I'm
So
wondering
like,
now that I'm like thinking about it, I'm wondering if it's more of a like a sister thing, cuz now I'm remembering that Beats by Dre are owned by Apple, but it's still its own
mhm.
separate thing.
So that's where I think it would be a great asset, because here's the thing. Blackmagic is really freaking good. As a company, I love them, but they're
Oh,
also
dude,
very much kind of like Apple. Apple, when they first started out, was really kind of want to bring tech to the consumer and have like a closed ecosystem where your phone works with your computer. This like it's all, if you
personally I
have an
would
Apple
love that.
product, exactly.
I
Blackmagic is kind of the same way.
iPhone, Mac, AirPods. Like I have my Apple Watch
We
charging over
get
there.
it.
I Okay, here's the thing. As much as people liked it, I am a huge Apple fanboy. As much as people love to hate on Apple, it is a fantastic company. Sure, it's expensive as shit. I've never had a problem with any product. The whole ecosystem thing I think is genius. Feel free to hate me in the comments. I will be shooting in 4K ProRes on my iPhone. So,
Yep. So I, I can't even hate, because I do love Apple products, even though Apple as a company does irritate me sometimes, and so, a lot of their choices and stuff, like the new iPhone, it's the same shit.
okay, that I agree with, but the only reason I got the newest iPhone, whoa, the
iPhone, iPhone.
iPhone, the reason I got the newest iPhone is because I needed to upgrade anyway.
Hmm.
So like I was due for an upgrade. I went from the 13 to the 14 or the 16 Pro Max. So I was planning on upgrading anyway. However, for people that already have the 15, do not upgrade. It's
Yeah,
literally
it's
the
not
same
worth
thing
it.
with an extra. The wide angle lens is a 48 megapixel. It's not on the 15, but I'm going to be totally real with you. I don't understand why people would use the wide angle for like actual like cinematography. So that one doesn't really make
It would
sense.
be super rarely used,
Exactly. So
and
like
like super
there's
rarely.
definitely like a demographic of people that like love that, and honestly I say go for it. But for the general like consumer, also yeah, general consumer too, like nobody even knows this kind of stuff. So like honestly, if you have an iPhone 15, especially like the pro models, don't yeah, you have no reason to upgrade. The only thing is that like if you need that wide angle lens or you need 4K 120 FPS,
Hmm.
but like if you don't need those things, you're chilling. Even if you have a 14, I don't really think like there's much cause for an upgrade. The one big thing is Apple Log. I use that exclusively. Like if I am shooting anything that I plan on putting into an editing software, it has to be an Apple Log. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Also, just to inform people why iPhones are so great, particularly for people like me and Chase who do more VFX and stuff like that. Specifically, the iPhone has a lot of great hardware.
yeah,
Like, it has great cameras, it can shoot ProRes,
yeah,
it has a LiDAR scan,
yeah,
and it also has the front-facing, the like, oh, I forget what they call it, the true depth
yeah.
sensor
The
thing
true
or
depth
whatever.
sensor,
So just to inform people, LiDAR scanning,
Apple
that's
AR kit.
uh, literally what we use to literally photo scan an environment.
Yeah,
That's how everyone's doing it right now,
yeah.
because it's the easiest way of doing it. The true depth sensor thing, or whatever they call that, that's what you do for face tracking
Yeah,
to get
that's
facial
exactly what I was
animations.
gonna say. Is if you are using a facial animation software in like Unreal Engine or Blender or Maya, chances are, if you are not a massive studio that has the resources, you are going to be using Apple AR Kit.
Yeah,
To unless you had something else to add, I do have something I want to loop back to that we were touching
no,
on
go for it.
earlier. So
Go for it.
that's with the whole Black Magic integration thing. Apple recently has been on a huge spree of like catering towards people in our industry. Like they used to be like super like ease of use and like whatever, but they did start on the having a computer that can do what a PC can't, or like having and like honestly they're kind of starting to go back to that. PCs have gotten really good, so it's still kind of like a competition thing. However, they like again the M4 has hardware accelerated ray tracing for like people that are in 3D work. Apple ProRes like for like film, Apple Log for film. Like they're starting to like kind of go back to that sort of like that sort of group of people that like need that kind of stuff, and I think
Hmm.
that them acquiring Black Magic would be fantastic, just
Hmm.
because it would give more incentive for that kind of thing. um, I actually don't think, now that I'm like really thinking about it, I do not think that they'll make it a part of Final Cut. I think that they will have a pipeline between like Fusion and Final Cut and Fusion and DaVinci, but I just kind of realized how many people, like you included, are using DaVinci Resolve on PC, and that would
Hmm.
lose like a good chunk of people.
Yeah. Um, yeah. And also just DaVinci Resolve has become so popular. It's almost a kind of standard. Like yeah, I don't want to say it's a standard, but it's very much becoming a standard in the
It
filmmaking
Yeah,
industry,
100%.
because it is so powerful. And the
I
thing
think
that
it
I
is the
personally like about
standard for
it,
color grading.
pretty much, honestly, at this point, yeah, because I personally have never used anything else that has better color grading tools.
Yeah, emphasis on better because there is
Personally,
Lumetri color for
yes.
Premiere Pro. I would. So funny thing. Just recently, I fully switched over to DaVinci and Fusion. And but before that, I was using DaVinci Resolve for color grading, and then just exporting it back into Premiere Pro. But now I'm just fully in DaVinci
So
Resolve.
much work.
And the one thing I will say is, as limited as Fusion is in comparison to After Effects and Nuke, it's really good. Like especially with the free version. Obviously now I'm on the paid version of both DaVinci and Fusion, and like I think it's great. So
It's I couldn't recommend it enough. DaVinci Resolve's where it's at. But the one thing that does worry me about if that ever happened, if Apple bought Blackmagic Resolve or Blackmagic Design, is would we lose the amazing one-time buy
oh, no,
thing?
absolutely not, absolutely not.
And also, here's where this is where I think it could work, but also what I'm afraid of. Because Apple could easily buy Blackmagic Design and then fully just like take over. And I don't think that would be good. They need to
I
keep
I don't think they
the
will.
team and that's what makes me think if like if they do a nice merger and they're like, hey, you guys keep doing what you're doing, we're gonna work together, implement more
I think that's how it would go.
stuff, but they need to keep that team that's there.
I
The
yeah.
Blackmagic design team is like 1,500 people, and that core team of individuals that design everything, and because we're not just talking about just Blackmagic, DaVinci Resolve, like this is the whole company, the every fucking computer, not computer, camera, and all. I mean, they have so many
Yeah,
products.
and honestly,
So
the one thing I will say to kind of like, reassure anyone is Apple is not Adobe. Apple is actually like one of the most but
fair.
this kind of comes with how big of a corporation they are. They're actually one of the most like caring corporations. Like I have a buddy that I grew up with who got an internship at Apple, And we also have like a family friend that works on Apple. They are set for life. And our friend that is an intern gets he lives on Apple campus, like in their sort of like dorms, and he gets like free meals, a like $90 an hour like internship. It's like their employees are well taken care of. Also, aside from things like Apple Music and Apple TV, they don't do subscriptions usually. So like I wouldn't be worried about it becoming a subscription based thing. Because
Okay.
Final Cut as of right now is it's a one time purchase for all
You're
updates.
right. I
Logic
Yep.
Pro is a one time purchase.
Okay.
Just basically everything. The iPad version of Logic Pro is a yearly subscription, but everything that is on the Mac is not. So I wouldn't actually be worried about it becoming a one-time thing. One other thing I will note too, you don't get obviously there's not really an Apple compositor, but Final Cut Pro is actually cheaper than DaVinci Resolve. So like honestly, I wouldn't. I'm like as much as like that would be like a skepticism thing. Apple again is not Adobe. I think that they would really like honor and respect the work that Blackmagic has put into the software, and if they were to like have some of that stuff, I think there probably would be layoffs. I will admit. However, I think they would keep the bulk of employees working on Apple, or not on Apple, on Blackmagic.
Yeah, I could see that. If that ever did happen, I think it could be a really cool thing for them to acquire that. But that would be my main worry is that Blackmagic design gets to keep like the creative freedom to keep doing what they're doing because they are so good
Yeah,
at what they do.
and
As a company, they make great quality products. Like, yeah.
honestly, as far as that goes, though, I want to say I don't know because I'm not really into audio all that crazy, but I want to say that Dr. Dre, is still the creative director of Beats, even though it is owned by Apple. Like, so
Sounds about right.
I'm pretty sure that they would do it, like because like it's Apple, they have some really smart people working there, but like in the grand scheme of things, they probably like don't know what they're doing. Like if that makes sense. And like I like you probably understand what I'm trying to say. Like they don't it's not
Mhm.
their product. So like they
Mhm.
would probably keep the people to like keep making it great. I think the more merger thing would be to like sort of have more integration with Apple products and Final Cut and Fusion and just give more tool sets to the creators, which I think would be pretty cool. But I'm also, again, like,
Apple fanboy,
yeah,
we
I'm like
get it.
Apple everything.
But yeah,
So,
again, there is no, like far as I know, there's no actual like truth to that. But I just found this article online, and it was literally just going in depth about like what would what would it look like if Apple bought Blackmagic Design? And I was
yeah.
like, that's an
Yeah.
interesting thing. Hmm. But yeah,
Obviously,
thought that was interesting.
I honestly don't think it'll happen though, just because
Yeah.
the only thing I can see that happening is them buying Fusion in terms of software. Hardware wise, the only thing I can really think of is the like uh being like the cameras being able to shoot in ProRes, which I think they already do. So like I don't
I think they
know.
do actually. I don't know. I'm sure they would develop other shit, and who knows? Maybe we'll all be shooting in different codecs here in 2 years. That's like this one's
Yeah.
better than ProRes.
B
Um,
Raw's pretty cool.
okay.
Wait,
I
actually,
love B-Raw.
iPhone's shooting B Raw. That would be cool.
Ooh. Okay. So let's actually talk about this for a quick second, then we'll move on to the next topic. But I do want to talk about B-Raw for a quick second because I don't think a lot of people know exactly what we're talking about. So
I've never used B Raw,
what?
so
B-Raw is fantastic. There's another codec if you've ever worked with red raw files from a red camera.
I think I have used a red, but it was stock footage that I think I was just practicing color grading on. I didn't really do any of the nitty gritty.
So when you have a raw red file that was shooting red raw, you can go in and um, on the actual like clip that you have, the original footage. Let's say you need to go in and let's say it's a little underexposed. You can go in and change your ISO, your f-stop. You can make all those little changes to the raw file and make it before you're even getting to a color grade or
That's so
anything
cool.
like that. And like you can't do that with other footage.
Oh
Anything
yeah,
that's like
definitely not.
filmed and anything else, that's not how that
You can
works.
do a shit ton of color grading.
Yes.
And like
But that is the beauty
yeah.
of working in like a red raw file. B raw is the exact same thing. It's just the Blackmagic raw file.
Yeah.
And I so the actually this is a great segue on working for Don't Cry for the Devil. I had my first experience working with B-raw footage.
Yeah, you were telling me about
We
that.
had the first production, the first 3 days of production, which was like the main stint of filmmaking. Um, sorry, the first 2 days of production, which was the main bulk of filming, and then Steven got the camera for a third day and went to go do some pickup shots for some stuff. And when he did those pickup shots, those got filmed in B-raw. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I've never used B-raw before. That should totally work. I'm using DaVinci Resolve. That should work
Yeah.
right. Like,
B-Raw's
great.
by Black
Um,
Magic. I don't know if we said that.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I started messing around with it, and then it just like quite literally unlocked a whole tool set of being able to go in, change ISO, gain any adjustment I wanted to do to the original file
That's
before I even
crazy.
get to color
That's
grading
super cool.
or anything like that. I could just automatically do there, and it's honestly I only want to shoot in B-raw now because just having that ability and that little like given you should be exposing right and make sure
Yeah,
everything's
obviously
done on the right
you
on the
want your
day.
source to be as good as possible so that your editor or
Yes.
color grader isn't having a pain in the ass later. That's definitely a big
Yes.
part of it, but it is nice to
But
have that.
it's having that extra wiggle room of like, oh, actually this shot's a little underexposed.
And you can do it way
Let me do
quicker.
it. Look.
You can
Oh yeah,
yeah.
it's just boom, boom, done.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. It's at the right exposure. Like
That's so rad.
having that ability to do that is as an editor amazing.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I love B-Raw. B-Raw is the way to go. If you don't use it, I think you should
Yeah,
because
for sure.
it's
If you have access to it,
and
definitely use it.
but also in my experience, B-Raw files are actually smaller too.
Interesting. Considering I just
We
made a 30-second like short the other day in ProRes that was like, I don't know, 12 gigabytes. Like
Yeah, no, ProRes files are freaking huge, but the B-Raw files, they're like more compressed or something. I don't know. I'm not Ren. I can't go into the whole science of like, well, actually, it's the compression.
yeah,
I have
right.
no idea.
I
But
actually want to know
in
about
my
that now though.
experience, the B-Raw files were smaller and easier to transfer and stuff like that compared to the ProRes.
Sweet. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I had more ability to work with it more and change anything I needed to change as an editor.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I'm full for B-Raw.
Yeah.
But on that note, no, sorry, do you have some?
Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, I was just going to like move forward.
Oh, okay. Yeah, moving forward with that, Don't Cry for the Devil. This is a short film that my friend Steven has made. We're still in production of it, technically. I'm still editing it, and we are still music's being done for it as we speak. I'm still waiting for music to get back. But once we get it back, then I can move on and go into the last little tail end of editing.
Sweet.
But I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because I don't remember how much we talked about it last time.
We kind of just
Um,
like I think we kind of just like brushed on it.
I think so. I can't quite remember. My memory is horrible. But yeah, I just kind of want to go into it because I really want to kind of focus on Don't Cry for the Devil because the whole idea of like what we have been able to do with helping Steven out in the production of this short film
Uh-huh.
is exactly what I want to achieve with FTA,
Yeah,
with other people.
for sure.
Um, so basically, to kind of get into it a little bit more, um, earlier this year, I was talking with my friend Steven, and he was going through a time where like he just really creatively needed to do something. He was just like,
Feel
dude, I
that.
gotta I gotta make something.
Feel
Like
that.
he's like, I gotta do something. So I challenged him. I was like, all right, make a short film. And I do need to preface this. I fully intended him and was fully expecting him to just film something on his phone in his backyard and make it like a little skit thing or a little short, you know? Fully, that's what I was intending. And I was like, film it, I'll edit it for you, be great. And he's like, okay, bet, I'll do that. Next thing I know, I get a script in my email, and it's about 15 pages long, and he has written out an entire short film. And I was like, oh shit, okay, do it. Um, he went above and beyond the Call of Duty for this. He wrote, produced, directed, and acted in the short film.
Dude just made a whole ass movie off of a bet.
Also, the script was 15 pages long.
Yeah, how okay, actually yeah, explain to me how that turned out.
I don't know. So, just to kind of put some preface in this, typically when you're reading a script, one page of a script will roughly be 1 minute of movie,
Yeah.
give or take some,
Generally
what,
speaking, yes.
generally speaking, it's going to be around a minute. So 15-page script,
Maybe I should do a
roughly
script
15
writing.
minutes.
Maybe I should do a script writing deep dive because I don't
We
know if
should.
I don't know if I did this last episode, but that is like my major is like English filmmaking and kind of stuff like that. Like
Mhm.
that's what I'm in school to do is script like screenwriting and like storytelling and stuff like that. So like I
Mhm.
we should totally talk about that in a video.
No, I am so down. Yeah, well, I think we should definitely do that.
Anyway, continue.
But it, anyways, so the script is 15 pages long.
Mhm.
Um, given there are a lot of like long scenes, a lot of monologue kind of scenes, and I already knew reading that, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But I was fully kind of anticipating maybe something like 25 minutes ish.
Yeah.
The first cut of the movie, first rough cut, when I got all the scenes together and like from beginning, middle, end, we were at like 52 minutes off a 15-page script. There was just a
Jesus
lot. There
Christ.
was a lot. And
Jeez
also,
Louise.
I do have to preface this, Steven's filmmaking, there are a lot of shots. There are like a lot of like long shots. Sorry, that's not the term. But,
I think technically yeah.
like the shots last a long time.
Ex
Like there are
machina
shots
type
in there
beat.
where I'm like, it's a minute before we're cutting to another shot.
Yeah. He really
So,
likes his long shots. I've never worked with Steven. I have heard a lot about him, but yeah.
don't worry, you'll be working with him soon. He's
Yeah.
funny enough, he is coming out in April. He's gonna be working on a project in April for 3 weeks. I'm hopefully gonna be working with him. So we'll see. We'll see.
Sweet.
Maybe more on that later. Who knows? But anyways, so the first cut of this movie was like insanely long, and then I've gotten it cut down to right now I have it right under 40 minutes. The end of the credits ends at 40 minutes exactly.
Jeez, dude, you are right on because the short film cutoff is 40 minutes.
Yes.
Jesus.
That was my first goal. Because I was like, dude, what the hell? Like, because we were in this weird area of where it was so long that it was like, okay, well, do we just cut it down into a short film, or do we go back into production and just make it a little bit longer?
And make it a feature.
Yeah, because I mean, to make it a feature, you need it, what, like, let's say hour and a half.
That's like, I think that's like general, but I think for short films, it's anything longer than 40 minutes.
Yes.
It's just, it's a totally different entry process. That's the big difference. Is so if you want to go through the hell of entering it into a film festival, you do kind of want it to be a little bit longer. Otherwise, like, you're going to have a hard time getting accepted into film festivals, from my understanding. Yeah. I've never entered anything in a film festival, but I have helped people on films that have entered in film festivals.
Mm-hmm. No, and so basically that was my first mission on the edit, was to cut it down to something under 40 minutes. But just the whole process of working with Steven, because I did a lot more than actually just editing. That is the bulk of my job. I am overseeing all of the post-production side of things when it comes to this short. I am also labeled as one of the executive producers, because I did help out a lot with him during production and making sure stuff got done, stuff got paid, people got some money. So we put some money into this production, and I'm
Rightfully
really
so.
excited with how it looks. Like so you also do have to kind of think about this, right? So I was fully anticipating him of like making a short film on his freaking phone, and I just wanted something to edit because I've been wanting to teach myself DaVinci Resolve. I've never used DaVinci Resolve. It's free. I wanted to do it. So I was like, okay, yeah, film something on your phone, make a little skit. Yeah. Whoop. No, this dude goes and shoots a freaking movie using a Blackmagic cinema camera, shooting on ProRes 4K. Has full grip hands on set, lights, everything, the whole shebang. I'm just like, damn, how do we get here, man? I thought you were gonna make a skit in your backyard or something. Like,
for sure.
You really went in.
That's how bored he was. But honestly, good on him. Good on him.
That's how bored. Honestly, yeah. But also, that's just Steven, though. Like, you tell him, you light a little fire under him and get him going, he's gonna go above and beyond. That's just how he is.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, he's also, to kind of go back, Steven's been my friend for a very long time. We met in college, our freshman year of film school. So
hell yeah.
Literally, that's just, we've been friends ever since.
That's rad.
He will be on the podcast eventually.
Yeah, we are trying so hard to get him on the podcast.
Yeah, it's really hard. Oh, we also do have to preface this. Steven lives in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I live in California.
Yeah, we're both
so
California.
This entire thing has been like over Zoom and FaceTime calls and phone calls and just literally going back and forth and just getting shit done.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, it's been a hell of a process, but I did want to kind of touch on this because seeing how much Steven has learned during this process, knowing how much I've learned in this process is just it's been so fun, honestly. Yeah. It's been a lot of headaches, but it's been really fun.
Yeah.
And it's been really cool to kind of just be able to help Steven out with this, and I kind of want to keep that going. Like, I want to help other people.
100%.
You know, when it comes to editing or VFX or production or pre-production or the whole step of the process. I believe me and you both have the knowledge and the skill set to be able to deliver services like that and
Yeah,
help other
100%.
creators out, especially people who don't know, like dude, I don't know how to edit, but I want to direct a short film, and you know they do it and they're like, well,
Now
what do
I
I
can
do with
doing
this
it.
now?
But
I
yeah,
got you.
to kind of move from that too. So that is the technically speaking going to be the first FTA collective work that we are doing, and I'm really excited about that. Even though I didn't directly work on it, I'm excited that we are going to have something that we can like put our brand on and all that. But on that note, I am writing and directing the first in-house production, and I am very excited to talk about that. We've had this idea for like a couple of months now.
Yeah.
It's actually it's called The Nobody. It's a comedy superhero film. My best way to describe it is think about like Deadpool with like the humor of Megamind. Like it's not it's like a
Yeah.
superhero gruesome comedy. It's like it's really it's just gonna be like kind of a shit show. Not gonna lie.
It's crazy.
It's
It's crazy.
I
There's
funny enough I wrote it when I was in high school, and then when like we started like talk when I met Nate and started talking about it, I ended up rewriting it, and we're finally actually moving forward with it, and that is going to be the first in-house production, and that should be coming within the next couple of months, I'm sure. It's not nearly on the scale of Don't Cry for the Devil. It's going to be maybe like a 14-minute short film going straight to YouTube
no,
and
it's
Vimeo.
yeah.
Like,
No, it's gonna be fun. I've read the script. We technically kind of started going into production there for a
yeah.
little
We
bit,
we have like some
kind of.
previs
Uh,
already set up. We just what we ended up doing is the original scope of the project was a lot bigger. So we're just cutting it
it's a
back.
lot.
We're just cutting back on it. Like originally what we wanted to do is like almost a full CGI, like just like gore fest. But we're gonna
Yeah,
we're cutting back on it a little bit, especially since like you know we got other stuff that we need to be doing in terms of FTA. So we're just trying to just get something out there, and I'm really excited about it. I've put a lot of time into this short film, writing it, trying to like get actors, producers. That's part of the reason I got this new phone is I want to shoot on the iPhone. That's like one of my big things is trying to make filmmaking as accessible as possible. So I'm trying to prove my point by shooting on an iPhone. I mean the iPhones are great now in terms of camera, but anyway, so yeah,
they're
that's something
amazing.
that we have going on, and I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you to direct this. I'm excited to work with you on this. It's going to be really fun. It's a funny script. It's I know we're like cutting back on a bunch of stuff with that, but there's a lot of like little bits that we've come up with and that we've talked about that we if it actually does make it in the script and have those scenes, if it doesn't have those scenes, we need to revisit those scenes later on
Yeah,
because there's a couple things that
there
like had me dying. It
there's
was
definitely
just
gonna
so
be a
great. I want to
lot.
see them done.
There's gonna be a lot that I want to try to keep it in as much as possible because this is gonna be like one of those shows where like I wrote it with the intention that you are laughing your fucking ass off the entire time over the stupidest shit. Like so I grew up on like the old like 80s 90s stoner comedies, and then it was the newest Deadpool came out, and that's what like kind of like solidified it for me. I was like, okay, no, we're doing this. Like we're just going to make this a really stupid gore fest following a superhero. Like so it's the whole like idea with this is it's like something for Nate and I to kind of just like fuck around. But like it is going to be a legitimate short film. It's going to have a story that I actually put a lot of thought into. Um it's just not going to be like Dune or anything. It's not going to be like a life altering
Listen,
drama. It's going to be like a
what? You're not making Dune
yeah.
Part 3?
It's not gonna be like a life altering existential drama. It's gonna be more of a like I'm gonna laugh at this for 14 minutes straight. Like I think that I'm pretty sure the
Nothing wrong with
script
that.
is
Yeah,
like
I love
11
it.
pages. So
Yeah, it's really good. I was laughing reading it, and it's getting the. I'm really excited to start working on this.
yeah.
It's gonna be great. Um, do you want to talk about a couple of the other projects that we're working on?
Yeah,
They're
let's
not really. I don't. Yeah.
they're kind of more like ideas right now, but
Yeah. Yeah.
they will be happening though, so we might as well like talk about them. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
so yeah, we do have a
Well,
couple of other things.
so just to like inform people on like so we have Don't Cry for the Devil, The Nobody. Those are two short films that
Are currently in
one's gonna be released
production.
soon,
Yeah.
one's in production. Um, and then on top of that, we also got other stuff that's going to be going on like our YouTube channel and stuff like that. We're going to have tutorials. I know Chase has been working on a camera tracking? Is
Yeah.
that
Right
right?
now I'm doing a
Yeah,
Blender
camera
camera
tracking
tracking
tutorial.
tutorial.
Yeah, and he's been doing a lot of work on that. I'm going to be doing a couple smaller tutorials just on like stuff with DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah.
Um, there's one in particular shot I really do want to break down because, not gonna lie, I was really proud of it in the short film for Don't Cry for a Devil. Um, I needed an insert shot of like to transition and make it work within the scene. Ooh, spam call. Um, but I was really proud of it, and the reason why is because I literally got this shot. I made this shot from nothing. I needed a shot that didn't exist, so I made it using footage that I did have,
So sweet.
and literally composited it. It's so easy. Like it is literally like I kind of want to say it's a tutorial for beginners because it is literally nothing complex. It's not even a fusion. Like the way I went about it is the most basic, simple way
Yeah.
of putting a shot like this together without even having to go into fusion, which you easily could do. Just fully preface that
For
you
sure.
easily could have just like set this up and done it in fusion too, but it's something about just literally the way I did it was just so quick and dirty, like, and it worked. It works. That's the thing. It like that I'm so proud of because it's the little details that sell it and make it look so
Yeah.
real. And I personally am really proud of that shot. So I'm definitely want to do a little breakdown of that
Yeah.
shot. Um, but yeah, other projects that we're working on. Actually threw an idea to Chase the other night. Um, and I think this is something we're definitely gonna
Oh,
do
I am
because
so
I
down for
like it.
this one.
Yeah, and yeah. So basically, what I wanted to do is kind of do like a recreate shots from movies,
Uh-huh.
but like challenge ourselves. So basically, I want us both to sit down. We pick a little scene out of a movie, a shot, something, and be like, okay, we're gonna recreate this, and then we
Yeah.
both go give ourselves like a weekend, 2 days, something like that, and then come back and compare, and like
Yeah.
basically almost be like a versus artist versus artist kind of a thing, but just make fun VFX shots.
Yeah, exactly.
The first one I wanted to start with was I already showed Chase the scene, but it was from the first Resident Evil movie and the laser hallway. Um, yeah, I just think it'd be really cool to sit down, recreate that, and you just kind of like challenge ourselves and
Yeah.
see what we
I
come up with.
this kind of thing is definitely a very corridor inspired thing.
Yes.
Where they do a lot of that kind of like, VFX challenges and like how they did this shot. Can we recreate it? And the one thing, and we got that idea and we were like, hey, what if we just like made it a competition? So
Yeah.
that might be, we're depending on how this first one goes, that might be like I think we said monthly series. Like,
Yep, I could totally see it being a monthly series, depending on if people like it and if it's something that me and you both like enjoy making, and
Uh-huh.
they're it could be a lot of work that goes into actually making one of these episodes. So
Yeah.
who knows?
Well,
But
we'll see how
it
the
does
first
sound
one
like
goes, but we're both
yeah.
excited for it.
Yes, I'm very excited. I think it's a cool idea, and just being able to kind of like pick out scenes and be like, I wonder if we can recreate this.
Yeah.
Like, and we could probably choose something a bit easier, um, and like do really easy
Yeah.
shots or whatever. But yeah, no, this is something that I think could be really fun and a good challenge for both me and Chase.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, other than that, tutorials, I would love to do the recreation,
Yeah.
shot recreation or whatever. We don't even have a name for it. Um, but yeah, I think that's pretty much what we've had so far. Is there
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
else
yeah.
I'm missing?
There's
I feel,
I
I know
mean,
we have a bunch more
I
ideas.
have a couple of tutorials that I'm also thinking of. Obviously, the camera tracking ones right now, but I'm trying to do. Originally, the reason it's taking so long for me to do these is originally my idea was to do a 3-part series, um, but then Nate brought up the idea to me. It did it again. The thumbs up thing that we were talking about earlier. Anyway, Nate brought up the idea to me that we should try doing it insequential. I think that's the word. Like so, basically, whatever part of the process you're at, there is a video for it. Just because, like, for example, the original idea was like a photo scanning to camera tracking to compositing, and the thing with that is that there might be some context that's lost along the way if it's a part series. And the one thing is, like, for example, if you know how to composite, like, you don't need to watch that part of the video. If you know how to camera track, you don't need to watch that part of the video. Or if you need to, like, photo scan, the camera settings, all that kind of stuff. So what I ended up doing is kind of not necessarily scrapping that idea, but I'm like rewriting them into different things. The other thing I'm adding is, again, I shoot primarily on iPhone, and we are trying to do in depth on the Blackmagic camera app, and
Yeah.
because that's the one that I use primarily, and it's really good. So yeah, but that's kind of like just what we have going in terms of the
Mhm.
YouTube channel and like our socials. So yeah.
Yeah. Actually, kind of bouncing. I feel like we're kind of live bouncing ideas right now. But going back to what you said earlier about doing some in-depth stuff, as far as writing goes
Yeah.
and writing scripts. Um, there's one script idea. I've mentioned it to you before, but I would love to kind of, what if we use that as, um, to kind of go in depth with screenwriting?
I think that would be a fantastic idea, actually.
Because that is a short. It would be probably something around like 20 pages, maybe. You could probably make it a little bit longer,
Yeah, yeah.
but um, that could be a cool thing.
I agree 100%. Um, in
That
the
might be
interest
a
of
thing.
time, do you want to talk about Fab today, or do you want to save that for something else? We are on
We can.
the hour mark.
Are we at the hour mark?
Yeah.
Let's quickly go into Fab a little bit, then we can touch on it more
Yeah.
on the next podcast. But I did want to talk about Fab a little bit, just because it is kind of what's happening right now. Um, and so okay,
For
let
those
me
of you
let,
guys that like don't
yeah.
know, Fab is Epic Games' new online store for 3D assets, code snippets, uh, like so
So yeah,
programs like
and
Sketchfab, the Unreal Engine Marketplace. Those are all moving to Fab. They are not going to be part of their own things anymore, which
mhm,
could be really cool. However, those who use Unreal Engine are losing a lot of free assets, and namely the Quixel Mega Scans, which I use religiously. Every single 3D project that I use in Unreal Engine uses the Mega Scans, and they are not going forward. There is a way on that Epic put in that I am incredibly appreciative of, that you can add all current assets to your library, which is awesome. But
Mhm.
after 2025, all assets will be paid. And it's causing a lot of
Yeah.
controversy in the 3D industry.
Yeah, I yeah, I've been going back and forth on this so much recently, and I still don't know exactly where I lie. I'm still very much like I don't know how I feel about this.
Hmm.
I do think it's cool that they're bringing everything all into one location, so there's just one place you can go to, boom, it's there.
Yeah.
Um, and where I think the law, like, especially where the law of backlash is coming from, is the fact that all of these assets that literally everyone uses, every single Instagram clip you see of a video game or someone doing something cool animation in Unreal, 99.99999% of the time, it's using one of the assets from Megascans or
Yeah,
the
like
Quixel
just
Bridge
because
or
it's
all of
like
that.
it's
Like,
this massive, like massive library. It's like I think as of
mhm,
this recording, it's on 18,000 assets.
mhm.
Like and
Which is a lot, just FYI,
yeah,
if you don't know, that's a lot.
and and
Uh,
so by so I understand why they're doing this. They're doing this to kind of like even the playing ground because you are also going to be able to upload custom assets for people to buy on,
mhm,
and they are going to be keeping some things free. Like I want to say that they are keeping the free for the month, um,
mhm.
but
Yeah,
the one
they
thing is
better.
that yeah right, but the one thing
I,
that the one thing that they're kind of like going back and forth between or like controversy wise is like there's on the flip side the mega scans are so high quality that it's unfair for the people to kind of upload assets for money because they're just going to go for the free mega scans. But on
Mhm.
the other hand of that again is that there are so many people that use the mega scans like in again all of their projects, and they're just not going to have access to that anymore. um so like if you don't know, if you use Unreal Engine and you don't know that mega scans is going to be paid, go hit that like add to library button right now because you only got a month. Like
Yeah, it's true. I actually still need to do that.
yeah,
Thank you for reminding me. I've been really bad about doing that.
yeah,
But
I just
yeah,
did it.
it's interesting, Fab. I don't know if this is true or not, but I did see some people saying it right when Fab did officially launch, which was a couple weeks ago now.
Yeah,
Um,
October.
yeah, October, a month ago. So it officially launched, and a lot of people are saying that people are just uploading like AI assets.
I don't like that.
Yeah, that's not cool.
I don't like that.
I
Just
I don't I don't know if that's true. I haven't looked in person myself. I haven't
mm,
seen him, but I did see that was one thing. People are like, "Oh yeah, there's already AI assets." Now that could just be people talking shit because they're upset
I
about Fab.
yeah, the one thing I will say in terms of AI is AI should be used as a tool. Uh,
Yeah.
like I don't think it should be used as what's the word that I'm looking for? Like for example, selling like Meshy AI you can use for free. And so like having a free AI make a model and then selling it, like come on guys. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, that's not cool. I'm pretty much in the same boat of I like AI. I like the whole AI conversation is so crazy, and I
yeah.
totally get that. And I see both sides of the argument when it comes to AI.
Yeah.
And I think some people use AI the correct way, some people aren't using it correctly. Um, but it's one of those things, if it's a tool that you can use that will help you in creating the art that you want, go for
Yeah.
it. But it is not a replacement for the artistry.
Exactly. Like one of our mottos here at FTA is like bringing creativity back to the creators. And that the whole like kind of having AI do it for you ruins that whole thing. So obviously our standpoint on that is going to be a little bit against it, just because like we the whole our whole point is that we want people to be creative and like do it themselves. Like again, I use AI for like everything.
This is also, we do need to, because I think people kind of encompass, when you say AI, a lot of people, especially the general public, will encompass all AI together under like one thing. There's a bunch of different AI stuff. Like there are AI tools in DaVinci Resolve
Yeah, 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 yeah.
that work amazing and that help
Emphasis on
you in
tools though.
compositing stuff. But they're tools.
Yeah,
Now, what we're talking about is what they call generative AI. Things like ChatGPT,
yeah,
things like Meshy AI, things that you are text to whatever, text to
yeah,
video, text to image, text to 3D model, whatever the case may
yeah.
be. That is a generative AI. Now, do I think tools like that could help you out in
100%.
some ways? Absolutely. But that is not a replacement for the artistry or the creative process that
Yeah.
we as artists do. It's you can't.
S-
Literally, you can't. Okay, let's. Me and you both have messed with Meshy AI.
Yeah.
They're not good 3D models.
Yeah, like they're
Just
super
fully, they're cool
it's
and
geometry
they can help
vomit.
you. Yeah,
Like
they can make you like they can help you out if you're doing like a previs and like, "Ah, I just need something real quick, boom, 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 throw it in here."
yeah, exactly.
That I totally get. But using like a full 3D model as like the final asset for a project for a VFX shot or
Yeah.
something, no, no, no.
Uh
That's not how that.
an example I would like to give is for almost every single script writing, like honestly in school too, I use ChatGPT to kind of like start me off. I never finish in ChatGPT. I always am like, okay, help me like put my ideas onto paper kind of deal. Like for
Mhm.
example, the Nobody, I 100% came up with that idea myself. The script was written by myself. I did have ChatGPT open in another window to be like, oh, what would be cool here? And then it gives you a list of ideas, and I'll be like, okay, I kind of like this one. I'm going to put it into how I interpret it, kind of deal. And I
Mhm.
think that personally is okay because it is being used as a tool. Same with
Mhm.
Meshy AI, which is generates 3D models. Is Nate and I have been playing around with the idea of doing a monster horror film, and we want to use Meshy AI as a starting point for the the monster alien whatever it is that
Mhm.
we're going to do. However, again, it's geometry vomit because
Oh yeah, it's the
generative,
topology.
yeah,
Is that
topology.
the word? Topology?
Topology, yeah.
Topology.
So
It's so fucked. You
yeah,
can't use it. Like if you're okay, for all the 3D artists out there, you will understand. It's not a good mesh. Like it's
it's
literally
so
shit.
bad. Like I tried
So
rigging it
you
and
can't. You can't use it.
it looked so bad because the one big problem with generative AI image generation text thing is it's generated from noise. So what happens is it noise always is the same amount of highs and lows. It's like it's the classic computer 101010 thing.
Mhm.
Um, the thing with generative, so like with Meshy AI, is that it needs to use the same amount of ones as it does O's. So, like, what happens with that is that it'll make the general shape and then it squeezes in whatever is left over. And then it comes up with bad topology, bad texturing, and all that stuff. But it's cool because you have a starting point that you can then retopologize, retexture yourself, and rig yourself, and that's it. But then the problem that we're having to bring it back to Fab is that a lot of people are using it and putting it off as their own work, which is not okay.
That is not okay. That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Why
the
did my
whole
TV
taking it
just
back
turn
to
on?
Fab. Taking it back to Fab, I definitely have a lot of like mixed feelings on it. I am curious to see how it goes from here though. Um, because I do like the idea of everything being in one place and being able to upload things for us to like I mean even us as VFX artists, let's say we make an asset, in a short film, like
Yeah.
let's say we have a 3D
We
model
have
of something.
we take a shit ton of photo scans. So
Yes, we do.
like
Yes, we do.
we will definitely probably be cleaning those 3D models up and then putting them on Fab as assets.
Hmm.
But they're work that we did ourselves. So
And yeah, yeah. So Fab, I don't know. We'll talk more about it later in the next podcast. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see as long as they keep going, because I feel like a lot of people are worried that it's only gonna be a paid thing. You only have to get paid assets. I think there's still gonna be a bunch of free stuff in there,
there already
but
is. So
yeah. Um, but I don't know. It's
it's a
also
weird
I
situation.
it's a very weird situation. I'm hopeful that it's going to be good
Yeah.
and be a great asset for 3D artists
Yeah.
and people
Oh,
like me and you.
that's something that we didn't really touch on. The one thing that's really cool about Fab is that it is a general software. You can use it in Unreal Engine, Unity, Blender, Maya,
Yes.
like
Yes, we did not even touch
which
on that.
that is really cool.
That's the one thing I'm very, very excited for, because people having access to the Megascans assets in Blender, dude, that opens some
Yeah,
doors
for
for
me
people.
personally, because I don't know if I've ever said this on the podcast or publicly, but I'm not a huge fan of Sequencer. It's very great, but I've been using Blender since I was like 13. So like I am just so used to how Blender animation works. So being able to use Megascans in Blender, because before you could only use them in Unreal Engine or you would get like ticketed. Uh, but like so that part is really cool for sure.
And also, just to clarify to people, Sequencer is in Unreal Engine. That is the compositing part,
It's like
or no,
yeah, it's like the animation part of it.
yeah, it's the anim. It's where you start putting everything together for animations,
Like
doing like
cinematics,
yes,
movies, anything like
um,
any film
and
that you're going to be exporting or
yes,
viewing that's not like a gameplay.
yes, that's all done in the Sequencer, which is kind of modeled after close to Premiere
Yeah.
in some ways. Um, so yeah, it can be a bit tricky sometimes. I've had a lot of really good success in getting stuff to work in Sequencer, so I personally really like it. But yeah, originally the Mega Scans you could only use in Unreal Engine, so you'd have to be using it with the
Yeah.
Sequencer and all that. But yeah, being able to have those assets now in Blender and all other softwares that like, oh, wait, hold on. I didn't even think about that. Can you? Yeah, you could put the Unreal Engine assets into Houdini.
Oh shit, yeah, you're right. That's sweet.
That's wild.
That is wild.
That's
But
wild, actually.
yeah.
But yeah, yeah, good
Sweet.
conversation. I know we're
We're a
probably
little bit
way
way over
over.
on time, but it's okay. For those of you guys that made it this far, thanks for listening.
Yeah. If,
Just kind of
if you've listened to the very end of this, you're a real one. You're great. You're one of our people. If you find this conversation even remotely entertaining and you like talking and hearing about VFX and the VFX world and movies in general, I appreciate you.
me too. So yeah, with that, I think we're gonna cut it off here.
Mhm.
But our socials are all live. Follow us on literally any podcast site. We have all of it. Uh, TikTok, FTA CLTV, Instagram, FTA CLTV, like all that kind of stuff. We're just we're doing the thing. So just if you're
Absolutely.
listening, make sure you follow us on all the socials and yeah, thank you guys.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching, and to our listeners, thank you for listening to me and Chase rant for over an hour. It's great. It's always a fun time getting to sit down and talk with you, Chase. Chase, plug your Instagram. Where can people
Oh,
follow
yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah. So, I do have my own personal stuff. I do a lot of cinematography work in my free time and writing. So, Chase Parker Films, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. It's just my cinematography page. Nothing really special. Just do a little bit of like color grading, a little bit of cinematography. Just feel free to check it out if that's what you're into. But yeah. Anyways, thank you guys
Okay.
and take care.